Hello, this is Jim Rosenthal welcoming you to the big fight from Bismarck, North Dakota, where two versions of the world light heavyweight title are on the line. Jeff Harding's the WBC champion. Mike McCallum is the bookie's choice to take the tough Australian's crown. Dennis Andries is the only man who's beaten Harding. McCallum, the body snatcher, is one of the great active ring generals. There's also news of Virgil Hill's 16th defence of his WBA crown against the #1 contender, Frank Tate. They're calling this one the Battle of the Badlands. The Civic Centre in Bismarck is our venue. Jim Watt and Reg Guttridge are the commentators. First, Harding and McCallum get an earful from referee Marty Denkin.
Okay, Jeff, Mike, I explained what your responsibilities are. I told you what my responsibilities are. So let's all go do a job. Shake hands now.
Well, there it is, Jim. And our responsibility is to enjoy it. We hope a good fight, because I've been looking forward to this one. One of the real generals of the ring, Mike McCallum, 37 years old, could easily be older. And this is the sort of Crocodile Dundee, a genuine character from Australia. And McCallum actually has been holding what they term the interim championship, because Harding's been inactive for a number of reasons, some promotional, a couple of injuries. So this will settle all arguments then. Last time we saw Mike McCallum on ITV, he really looked the business against Randall Yonker. That was, in fact, termed the interim championship, and he just completely outclassed him last March. But Harding, well, we know all about him, Jim, having those three great fights, hard and grueling with Dennis Andries. Well, whatever happens, Jim, you know, he never ceases to amaze me, McCallum. He's such a quality boxer. You'd think at his age now he'd be losing it a bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but he's learned everything, Reg, so I mean, he doesn't trade on youth and speed. It's just experience and all-round ability. He's one of the few complete fighters we have in the game today. I mean, he makes you think of back to the Jersey Joe Walcott times when they could all do the job properly. That's what Mike McCallum's like. He can do the job perfectly.
Well, he's making the Australian eat those left jabs, and I tell you what, they're not flicking punches, Jim. They are scoring, Judge. Bit of an unusual sight, this, really, for a Jamaican and an Australian, and all sort of the cowboy country of North Dakota, but that's because the local hero Virgil Hill comes from here, the other part of this program.
McCallum's got his left hook working already, working well, working to the body and the head. It's never a problem catching Harding. He just keeps coming forward. The problem is trying to hit him hard enough to take some of the edge off him, some of the enthusiasm off.
I tell you, somebody well remembers that left hook, Jim. Don Curry, that was the punch. Perfect punch he knocked Don Curry over with. And of course in London we saw him stopping Michael Watson and narrowly outpointing Harold Graham. Well, he's beginning this round, Jim, as though he's intent on stopping Harding, no messing around waiting for judges' verdicts.
Well, I think he realises Harding is one of those guys, you have to command his respect. If you don't, he's going to come right over the top of you. You can't flick jabs at him, you've got to really put the weight behind the jabs, and that's what McCallum's doing. And I think he must be surprised how easy the left hooks are landing.
Three American officials, referee Marty Denkin from California. In London he handled a Charlie Magri and a Sochik Lada fight. I remember that as a world title fight in London. Good opening round this, Jim, as you say. They're not larking around at all, getting down to business.
Well, Harding can only do it the one way. He has to come forward. If he backs off away from McCallum, then the cause is lost.
Well, I tell you, you get your breath back on that one. That's some opening round there in terms of quality boxing. And here's the rundown then from Mike McCallum. Amazing. One of those losses was to James Toney, hotly disputed. That's Eddie Futch on the out of the ring there.
That's a perfect left hook. He's maybe not getting his full body weight. If he could back Harding up a little bit, some more weight into those punches.
Hard nut, Jeff Harding, though. It'll take a lot to stop him, I tell you that. Dennis Andries found that. He did manage to stop him in one of those fights. Maybe the rest has done the Australian just a bit of good, Jim, in effect, because he was certainly in some grueling contests.
Yeah, well, this type of fighter, quite often a rest does a lot more good than half a dozen warm-up fights, because you just have to get the steam back into the body. Every fight for Harding is a hard one.
Well, the opening round on my card definitely to McCallum. Well, it had to be. I mean, just left hand alone, Jim, without the left hooks coming in. Certainly eats a bit of leather, doesn't he, Harding? Doesn't bother to get his head out of the way much. As you say, the war of attrition is his stuff.
Well, he expects to get hit, so it's no great problem when he takes good punches in the early stages of a fight. That's what he expects, and he's prepared to put up with it.
If you've got a youngster you want to teach how to box, Jim, just say, take a look at Mike McCallum and do it like that. They try to turn Harding into a bit of a boxer. I mean, he's got certain technique, but it is the rough stuff that he's best at.
He's just making good use of a left jab there, Harding. See, as long as he can come forward at McCallum, he's got to be in with a shout because of his strength. Obviously, McCallum far better all the way around. But if Harding's coming forward, then he's got a chance.
Yeah, one of these days the old legs might go there. There's no sign of any lead in them yet, though, with McCallum.
Harding's plan just must be to keep McCallum working every minute of every round and hope in the later stages maybe McCallum will have nothing left.
Always kept himself in good shape, Mike McCallum. He even took an ordinary fight at the Apollo in London against Glenn Thomas, another American. Went the distance, good workout for him.
I mean, that was a sickening left uppercut McCallum landed, and Harding doesn't trouble him, just keeps coming.
Held the World Championship at 2 weights, of course, Mike McCallum.
Whereas McCallum likes to control the pace in a fight, but he's not doing that here. He's having to go with Harding, and I'm sure that's not what he wants. He likes to slow down and pick it up at his leisure.
He really is a gritty character, the Australian. I've admired him for a long time in terms of his willingness, bravery. He keeps marching on. End of round 2. Well, they really got the crowd at it there, and there's Harding then. Only lost the 1 contest to Dennis Andrews. Have another look at it, Jim.
See, the punch is bang on. There was an uppercut in the middle of the round, right onto Harding's chin, but didn't shake him in the slightest.
Coming out for the 3rd then. WBC Light Heavyweight Championship, 175 pounds, 12-7. McCallum was a light middleweight champion and a middleweight champion. And in fact, he made 6 defences. Go back a long way watching McCallum doing boxing the Olympics in Montreal, representing, of course, Jamaica. Spends a lot of time in New York, though, and likes to be billed as of New York these days. Also held the Commonwealth Championship. We often forget that with Mike McCallum, meaning the Commonwealth Games, not the Pro. Can they keep this going for 12, Jim?
Well, McCallum is trying to change the pattern already. He doesn't want this. He doesn't want to stand trading. He's not using his tricks and his skill. He's got to find a bit of room. He's trying to back off a little bit from Harding and catch him with counters. But he hasn't hurt him yet. And Harding just coming straight through everything. Harding doing well in this round.
I think you can tell by the fight style that the amateur game didn't really suit Jeff Harding. He lost to Sam Story, who, of course, is lined up with Eubank's next opponent. That was in the '86 Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh, also to Rod Douglas. But he's a different character when it gets the long-distance stuff.
McCallum has no choice. He's having to trade with Harding. He tried to back off for the first couple of minutes here, but Harding just rolled on top of him. This is going to be a hard one all the way through.
He doesn't get enough credit, really, Harding, the former champion that he is, Jim. Certainly not in Britain. We haven't seen enough of him, but what a colourful and hard character he is.
Yeah, well, there are no frills with Harding, no fancy stuff. Just works out, not even a tight defence. He just marches forward, takes what you've got and tries to dish out better.
Well, it's hardly a neutral crowd, is it? I think they're on the McCallum side most of the way. They regard him really as an American because he's done practically all his fighting in America.
Well, Reg, when you think of some of the recent world title fights we've seen, and there's more action in the first 3 rounds here than we've had in some 12 rounds.
So tough, isn't it? Close up like that.
See, McCallum, he's getting the punches home, but he's not stopping Harding in his tracks.
Out for the 4th then. That little shot there of Harding in the corner. It looks as though he's almost enjoying every second of it, isn't he? Instead of soaking up punishment. He's trying to get back to stick behind the jab if he can here, McCallum, make it easier for himself.
Well, he tried that in the previous round. He tried to box for the first minute or so, but Harding wouldn't allow that. Just kept closing the gap.
There's no messing around there, Jim. You can hear the second there. Can you get up on him? He's saying, look out, here he comes, or something like that. Is about all he can say with Harding. You can't say dazzle him with silence, can he?
Well, McCallum hasn't hurt Harding yet. He hasn't managed to knock any of the drive out. Maybe a little bit low there with that one.
Oh, all very matey though, isn't it? Look at that, the nice little touch.
So we have to wonder now, does McCallum at this stage in his career have the strength for 12 rounds of this?
Right, I tell you, he looks as though he can fight all night, Jeff Harding. The layoff done him no harm at all, as we said earlier, probably a lot of good. He actually won the championship, Jim, you remember, as a substitute when he fought Dennis Andrews back in '89. And won in the 12th round, and they didn't come any tougher than Andrews.
Well, I thought Harding would have trouble getting close in the first few rounds, but that's not the case. He's right on top of McCallum all the way.
Yeah, good. There was a definite low punch there, and he's lost a point there. That's silly of McCallum, quality fighter like him, because he's thrown around away there. There's nothing about the Klinsman, was there, about Harding there, Jim? He didn't dive on the floor or anything like that, did he? He just ignored it.
No, he's just a typical hard man. As I say, some fighters come in hoping for an easy night's work. Harding knows it's going to be hard before the first bell sounds. It's always hard, and he's prepared for it. Nothing troubles him.
Oh, this really is some battle, isn't it?
I just don't know if McCallum can do this for 12 rounds. See, Harding is not allowing him to be the smooth boxer that we usually see. Staying on top, leaving him no room to work. He's going to have to watch these body shots, McCallum. Lost a point already.
Countdown for the end of the 4th. Well, I tell you what, if Chris Eubank is looking in, Jim, he's rather happy that these fellows are a weight above him, I'll bet. As you said, there's more action at the start of this than in 2 Eubank fights put together. Fifth round then coming up. And what a contest this is. In case you've joined us late, Mike McCallum, calling himself the interim WBC champion, but the actual champion, Jeff Harding, In terms, it's a comeback really, but this is to settle the score anyway. So it's a WBC light heavyweights, 12 stone 7. And McCallum has blown a point now for a low punch. Certainly won the opening couple of rounds, but the Australian Harding is starting now to get right back into the fight. That's his game, the stayer. He wears people down. Remember, Jim, he stopped Tom Collins in style. He just, well, he knocked all the spirit out of him, I think.
Well, Harding's corner must be happy at the moment because he's not allowing McCallum to box the way he likes to box. He's got him under pressure all the time. He's closing the gap. He's getting close. Although he's all the good punches, all the good quality stuff's coming from McCallum, it's been forced out of him. And it really has to sap the energy. I just don't know how long McCallum can work at this pace.
Trying to work on the nickname, the body snatcher, but he's just dropping those punches a bit low, and it'd be silly if he throws more rounds away.
McCallum again is trying to change the pattern. He's trying to back off, get a little bit of space between him and Harding.
I go look at the record with McCallum, Jim. The quality fighters that he's beaten: Michael Watson, Harold Graham, as I said, Steve Collins, who's champion now. He knocked out Julian Jackson, a fearsome puncher, in a couple of rounds. Milton McCrory, Don Curry. And then he lost and won against Sambu Kalame. The loss was in Italy. And he won the return, and then he had a very disputed loss and draw with James Toney, who, of course, is a world champion.
Not the same snap in McCallum's punches. His counter punches not so powerful, not so sharp in this round. And Harding still pressing up close, not giving him room to punch. I think at this stage, although I've gotten behind in points, Harding must be pretty happy. It's the kind of fight he's been looking for.
He almost mugs the opposition, Jim, doesn't he? Just tucks his way inside their arms and starts to belt around the body, switches the punches, Harding. What a tough man he is to fight, Jim.
Yeah, and it's his strength and his hardness that has given the McCallum the problems he's having. McCallum has now to be thinking about 12 rounds. No signs that he can stop Harding. He's hit him with his best shots, hasn't even budged him. So he's got to start thinking 12 rounds, start looking for a couple of easy rounds here.
Well, by contrast, that was one of the easier rounds. Imagine that. That was a good round in any other fight. Well, it's air-conditioned arena, okay. Here it's in the high 70s outside and a bit dusty.
Okay. The jab. What?
Oh, yeah, not too many bruises of battle there, really, Jim, isn't it? As we come out for the 6th. Scheduled, of course, for 12 rounds. Harding's 29, McCallum's 37. And between them, they've only lost 3 fights. That's some record, isn't it?
Definitely, the strength is going to be a problem for McCallum.
I didn't think I'd be watching McCallum all these years later, Jim. Back in '85, I remember at Madison Square Garden, he really pummeled Sean Mannion over those days, 15 rounds, to win the light middleweight championship. The punch rate from McCallum definitely has dropped now, isn't it, in the 5th and the start of this lot round.
He's still trying to get the punches out, but not the same snap in them. I mean, he's obviously, he's landing his best shots here, not even managed to stop this fella in his tracks. So he really has to be thinking 12 rounds, points decision. And he's got to be strong the last 3 rounds.
Mind, he still takes a man out with 1 punch. And those at the top not just run-of-the-mill opposition. This is the 2nd reign as a champion for Jeff Harding. last fight actually was in France. That was his second defence against David Vedder.
See, Harding keeps his chin nice and low, so the punches that are getting home are landing in his forehead, and if they do land in the chin, then he's taking the strain on his chest. So he's a difficult man to hurt.
He and Jeff Fennick are the best two fighters to come out of Australia for many years.
Well, McCallum's still landing all the good stuff, all the clever stuff. But the big worry for his corner must be, will his strength last out? And two lovely left hooks. Still Harding wants to come back forward.
He really does have what appears to be an iron jaw, and certainly what a big heart he's got, Harding. The way he punches going backwards, Jim. I mean, that's a bit of quality of McCallum there, wasn't it? Short punches on the retreat like that. Crowd are loving it. I have to say, so are we. Now there it is, another night at the office, isn't it, for this old campaigner? A few people have dodged him in their time as well, Jim.
Yeah, you can't really blame them, Reg. A real quality fighter.
All right. Okay.
As I said earlier, there's old Eddie Futch coming up 86.
Keep ducking underneath.
Jim?
Well, Harding a couple of bits of success in that round. He's taken just a little bit too long to get his punches off. So although he's applying the pressure, he's losing the rounds. He's not getting the punches off quick enough. But I still imagine he must be happy because, look, he's always close to McCallum. No problem getting close to him.
Well, a hard and intriguing battle is out for the 7th. No knockdowns. And a reminder that McCallum lost a point for a low blow. Great fight for a referee to handle, Jim. They've given him no trouble at all, and there was no complaints about the low punch. They both accepted it. The man who landed it, the man who took it.
Well, we always say, Reg, that the man under the pressure is the one who usually tires first. And although McCallum's producing most of the good work, he is under pressure. He's been forced to work at Harding's pace. And just now and again, a couple of signs he's becoming ragged.
Just getting banged up a little bit around the face now. The swelling there, Harding, as it's over the left eye. Yeah, Harding's corner getting a bit excited now. This is a good round for him.
Well, signs of tiredness from McCallum in this round.
Yeah, he lost his shield there. They're having a bit of a debate here. He wants to make sure he didn't spit that gum shield out. It has to be knocked out and then replace it at the appropriate time, but the timekeeper will add the seconds there.
McCallum beginning to look a little bit tired in this round. This is the most positive Harding has looked so far.
Well, this certainly is putting back at the races here, isn't it, Harding? No doubt about that. I've seen Harding do this so often, wear the other man down, dishearten him. I don't think he can dishearten McCallum, but he's capable of wearing a veteran down. Quality opposition he's been in. Argentinian Giovanni, who's now the WBO Cruiserweight champion. Christophe Tioza, ex-WBA champion from France at super middleweight. He's fought the best, Harding, and of course the three memorable ones with Dennis Andrews.
McCallum must be a little bit worried about the fact that his punches are not troubling Harding. I mean, he couldn't have believed that anybody in the world could take his full-blooded shots without at least stopping in their tracks. But Harding's just coming right through everything.
everybody, practically every other person in the crowd there is giving orders to one or the other fighter how to do it. It's always easy from the outside the ropes.
Harding himself is a little bit tired, Reg. He's pawing a little bit with his punches. He's still coming forward. Oh, good shots there from McCallum. Lovely left hook.
Yeah, he likes to catch the judge's eye, apart from Harding's eye at the end of the round. And there's the bell. And the crowd rising to that the whole time. It was a quieter 6th round, but they made up for it in the 7th. Now, referee handed the cards there to the 3 American judges. Jim, there's the overhead shot.
Well, Harding's still coming forward, which is still the big problem for McCallum.
Wipe up that water. Your mouth closed.
Well, that's because they spilt water in the corner there, and he's asking it to be wiped up there. The 8th round then. There's not much in it now, Jim, taking away the point from McCallum, is there? I wouldn't want to speculate here at the moment. We had McCallum in front early.
McCallum's punching is always cleaner. Harding just now beginning to paw a little bit with his punches. Been quite positive at this stage in the round, but the last minute and a half or so, he obviously must be feeling the pace as well.
Yeah, that don't forget the body, Mike. The words there coming from obviously the Jamaican's corner. Although Eddie Futch is not the sort of man that shouts much during the round, he saves his energy for between rounds. He's scoring well with the jab though, Jim, isn't he, McCallum?
Yeah, the big problem is just the fact that, I mean, he's not worried about Harding's punching. Harding's right hand punching doesn't seem that strong here. It's just the fact that he keeps coming forward. Never gives him a second rest. Harding's jab's working well, but his right hand doesn't seem to have the snap you expect from a light heavyweight. Oh, these are good punches from McCallum.
Oh, yeah, he's clobbering him a bit, those. He knows how to pace himself, McCallum, doesn't he? Remember, he's had 14 World Championship fights, but Harding's also had 7.
This is real quality stuff now from McCallum. He's trying to push Harding back. If he can manage to do that, then he'll get everything under control.
Well, they're entitled to have a little brief rest there, aren't they? I mean, it's incredible. He's hardly had to call break at all, Marty Dankin. What infighting this is, Jim. There's no attempt to grab each other. Look at this. This is, oh, come on, then now it's my turn, isn't it? One takes over from the other.
The quality, the real quality always coming from McCallum. The uppercuts, the hooks. Everything that Harding does is a little bit basic. Just sheer, hard endeavour. But what a quality fighter McCallum is.
Great short punches inside like that. That's an object lesson for would-be champions. Don't look to hold. You use the space in there to get the short punches in. The end of the round there, and even the timekeeper got himself a bit excited there and doubled up.
Now you own this guy.
Well, I tell you, that's some advice. Now you've got to go to work, baby, Jim. I mean, haven't they worked hard enough? Well, he's been very kind to them there, the referee. Just had a bit of a stumble there, wasn't it? All those veteran fighters, Jim, in their late 30s, we used to take it for par that was how they fought. Now we see a guy like McCallum, because he's 37, could be a bit more, we think it's marvellous. But you said earlier on, you know, the Walcotts, the Robinsons, the Archie Moores, they were better as they got older, actually.
Yeah, well, we expected fights to be fought at this pace years ago. It's a pity that a great fight like this is now a bonus rather than the normal. But what a great fight it is. Still, McCallum hasn't managed to shake Harding. And Harding really coming on strong here at the start of 9.
And just to recap, no knockdowns, point taken away from the Jamaican McCallum for low blow. And it's the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World from the Bismarck Center in North Dakota. I must say, a real good fight crowd here, although their local man, Virgil Hill, pulls most of the audience in. They really came alive in this fight. Oh, that was a bit of a crafty one, Jim, was he? Was just holding a little bit with the left hand and swiveled round. He's got back on top again now, McCallum. He may not ever been behind, really, Jim, but it looked like he might be, but he's gone up another gear in the 9th.
Yeah, well, Harding is still doing so much work. It's just that the quality has always been coming from McCallum. So any of the close rounds, you tend to give them to McCallum because of the quality of his work. I mean, Harding, he's taking punches all the time. He has to take punches to land. Whereas McCallum, the good old pro, he's slipping and sliding and come back with nice counters.
I tell you what, if he was a goalkeeper, he'd get a few million on the transfer market. He stopped everything coming his way.
So there's that lovely left hook. Oh, that right hand, that's the first time I've seen Harding maybe a little bit shaken. Yep, right hand again.
Well, McCallum will look for the sort of finality of a gunfight here. He'd love that. I reckon he was jobbed out of a couple of decisions with James Toney, and he's not too keen about having to go the full distance anymore. Although I don't think that would happen here. It's a very neutral setup, really, of Australian and a Jamaican, although mostly an American these days. And there he is, of course, Callum. All calm and collected in that corner. The wise heads at work there.
Now let it go. Okay. Now, Mike, when you go down underneath, when you come up, don't step straight back. Step off to the side. See? Step off to the side. Because you lose it when you go down underneath. All right. But when you straighten up, you right into his front. Step off to the side, one way or the other.
At least when Futch is saying something to him, he knows that McCallum understands exactly what he means. Some seconds can confuse fighters. They try to tell them too much, Jim, don't they? Have another look.
See that lovely left hook again. He actually shook Harding for the first time in that round, but Harding again comes straight back at him.
Out for the 10th round. And Jim White and I have got Mike McCallum now, the interim champion, about to defeat the actual champion to win his 3rd championship. Light middleweight, and now light heavyweight McCallum.
Yeah, I've got McCallum clearly in front, Reg, but this is a dangerous time in the fight for him now. This is where the old legs must be starting to struggle a little bit, and Harding's still looking very strong. I mean, he skipped back to the corner at the end of the last round. Harding still looking as though he's got plenty left.
I admire him too. He doesn't mind fighting in other people's backyards. This is not McCallum's backyard, but certainly a long way from Aussie. And he came to London and fought Andries. He's been to France to fight the local hero there, Tiosa.
Again, McCallum looking tired.
Yeah, he's looking to just pinch those breathers in there now during the rounds like that.
He's been caught a couple of times by Harding's jab with his head too high. That's always a sign a fighter as good as McCallum is maybe becoming tired. If his head comes up, and he's been pinned with a jab once or twice here from Harding. McCallum really feeling the pace now.
And that was what the trainer Eddie Futch was saying to McCallum there, was to move to the side when he pulls away from punches. See, there he got caught by moving head up, going back.
See, this fight is not really about tactics for McCallum, because he's under so much pressure all the while. He's boxing under pressure, he's having to fight under pressure. So it's just a case of gritting his teeth and keeping the punches coming back. I've got him well in front, but Harding trying to trim that back now.
And you can forgive them for a little bit of clutching like that by the 10th round. I mean, they really have been giving it everything, and there's been no fancy damn punches in there. They've all counted.
Well, this is a decent round for Harding, Reg. He's been knocking McCallum's head back. McCallum breathing with a mouth wide open. This has been a hard round for McCallum.
Get the impression that Harding thinks he's got McCallum on the run there a little bit.
Well, he's landed more clean punches on McCallum in this round than any of the previous rounds. He's thrown a lot of punches, but McCallum's been slipping and blocking. But a lot of success in that round for Harding. He's happy now.
So the corner, and McCallum ambled back to his corner there. They're well pleased to take a rest.
Okay, we're doing it. You're safe. To the go, okay?
Well, it's entitled to a bit of a shower bath.
You or Lance, let's bring it home, okay? You can throw your hands up all you like. Come on, Bobby Jim. Yeah, you're doing it good, mate. You're doing it good.
Your jab's beautiful, Jeff. Your jab's working beautiful.
It's safe, isn't it? It's safe. You're backing up with the jab.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good, mate. They're holding
He's
up.
got to catch up, not you.
Yeah.
Please, Jeff, just play safe. Tuck in and just work off your jab, mate.
If you get in and clinch, don't fight out of it. I'll get you out of it. Okay.
You don't often hear that, Jim, do you? A referee saying that.
Yes, I think he means don't wrestle his way out.
Yeah, right. He'll get you out of it. He'll tell them to break. Well, they sounded a little bit overconfident maybe there. Obviously, they can't be down the Australian corner, but you got the impression they thought their man was in front. We don't. But, well, who knows? Some of the scoring lately has surprised a lot of people, but I doubt if there will be too much of a shock here. But with 6 minutes to go, who knows what can happen. 11th round. All down to earth chat, wasn't it, in Harding's corner there?
Well, the good thing about Jeff Harding, you don't have to fire him up, Reg. I mean, he's fired up completely every round. He never stops. Some fighters you have to drag the best out of them, but not this guy. He only knows the one way to fight. Still quality stuff from McCallum.
Yeah, he's opening up again here now, McCallum. He really does pace himself brilliantly. He throws a few punches, just goes in there and smothers Harding. Doesn't actually hold him necessarily, just stops him from working. I tell you what, Jim, whichever way the verdict goes here, they're bound to want a replay, but I don't know that they can stand up to it, these two. They've been in too many hard battles, particularly Harding.
But it's amazing how fresh Harding looks when you consider some of the battles he's been in. He must have a head like a rock. Harding has never stopped coming forward from the first bell.
And we're midway through the 11th.
Little bit of success there for Harding. Little double punch combination. Again, McCallum looking a little bit ragged.
The referee's just diving in a little bit quicker now when they're just starting to maul a bit. Oh dear, I felt that one at ringside. That really weakens an opponent. They're a little bit on the borderline as well. That last punch by McCallum.
So that's another sign of tiredness from McCallum, pushing his head in to Harding. This is another hard round.
You know, you still hear people telling you, Jim, well, the fights are not like they were in the old days. Well, maybe they're not all good, but when you see one like this, have you seen many better?
No, this renews your faith in the fight game, Reg. You wouldn't worry how many world champions we had if they all fought like this.
Still got good legs too, isn't he, McCallum, you know. See that, he gets up on his toes, uses the ring when he wants to. That's partly stealing stealing punches and stealing a bit of a rest, because he finds that easy, the long-range stuff.
I think Harding has been trimming things a little bit the last couple of rounds.
Well, one to go. I think he's been in a fight or two, Jim. Jeff Fennick.
Come on, Jeff, last round, he's tied.
Yeah, oh, well, that's it. He sounds like a Cockney from Aussie land, although he's from Malta originally. That's some accent he's got there. Yeah, Jeff Fennick, great fighter he was.
Don't let him stand off. As soon as you get set, if he's back and back, jump on him. If you let him come forward, he's going to hit you. If you let him stay still, if you let him stay on you, he's going to hit you. Okay.
Well, good to hear that accent, really. It makes me sound like Magnus Magnusson.
All right? Yeah, listen. Sweet, mate. Sweet, okay. No stupid stuff. No silly right hands.
All the time. Let them bring my head up. Bring my head up, man. Bring my head up. Bring my head up. Yeah, bring my head.
Asking for an extra shower there just puts the last round. He knows it now. Can he get a championship back, this fellow? It looks like he can too. Jim Watteney's cards anyway. 12th round of this WBC light heavyweight championship of the world, and what a reception from the crowd, and rightly so. The fight has had everything, Jim, except knockdowns, and I'm pleased to say no cuts.
That's the thing that surprised me. I thought Harding would have been banged up and possibly cut a couple of times in the first half of the fight. But he's kept his chin down. He's shown McCallum a lot of forehead. He hasn't taken too many shots. Bang on the tissues of the eyes, so no damage. But still so strong.
Dying to see how these American judges are going to read this one, Jim, whether they're going to give Harding more credit for being the aggressor, the go-forward fighter, really. It doesn't matter if you're hitting on the retreat as long as you're scoring.
Well, I think Harding has trimmed the points in the last couple of rounds, but I still have McCallum comfortably in front, 2 or 3 rounds in front.
Yeah, to take away the point, though, remember.
Yeah, that'll tighten up as well. But I think McCallum will be the one who's happy this is not a 15-rounder. Because Harding still looks to have plenty in the tank.
McCallum has fought 15 rounds as well.
I don't think he would want 15 rounds of this, though, Reg.
No, no more. Not with this guy. He becomes the president of the Who Needs Him club if he wins this championship.
Without doubt, Harding again has proved the strongest man in the business at any weight. When he's taken some real full-blooded shots that never stop coming forward.
Tell you what, Jim, in a fight like this, your heart goes out to the loser, doesn't it, really? I mean, it's so sad. So less than a minute now. Oh, he's picking him as he wants to in the last round again, McCallum. He's an exceptional fighter.
See, that's the quality that for me has always kept him in front. Harding has just been a little bit basic, just bullying straight forward all the while. His jabs worked well, but his right hand has never really given McCallum any problems. I think you have to go.
Sorry, Jim, yeah?
No, you just have to go with the quality, I think, of McCallum's work all the way through. He struggled a little bit the last couple of rounds just because of Harding's strength. But I've still got him in front.
It's remarkable, really. There's no delay between the sort of impulse and action with McCallum. It hasn't lengthened over the years. He's still as sharp as a young fighter. So there it is now. Obviously too late for a knockout because the bell would intervene. What a great fight, and I'm glad that neither of them had suffered the indignity almost of a knockdown. Hey, well, they both think they won. This is getting the par for the course these days. And that was Hedgeman Lewis there with the first to congratulate Mike McCallum. He works with Eddie Futch. Hedgeman Lewis, who fought John Stracey in London. Well, the Aussies corner are fancying their chances a bit here. A few sweaty palms around us. There you are, the old gladiators, as always in this game. Respect for each other, and that's as it should be. Jim, final punch replay.
Yeah, well, all the way through, Harding looked like the real light heavyweight, always that little bit stronger than McCallum, but McCallum boxed beautifully, and for me, all the way through, kept things under control, points-wise, and he's got to be the champion here.
There's the verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Rudy Ortega, scores at 116-114.
2 rounds.
Tommy Kazmarek scores at 116-113.
Well, 3
Terry
rounds.
Smith scores about 117-113.
Good scoring.
All three in favor of the winner and new champion,
Mike McCallum was back there again. And Jim, we agree with that, isn't it? 2 and 3 rounds is about right. Well, I don't think